Hey everybody, today is February 28th. I'm not going to tell y'all that I thought I have been recording for the last 10 minutes and come to find out nothing was recording. So now here I am starting over again. Oh gosh, this is... y'all gotta bear with me. And I understand... Okay, let me just say this. Let's clarify something right now in the beginning. I don't like talking to a public audience that I can't see. Number one. Number two, especially when it's dealing with recording my voice, because I already don't like the way my voice sounds, okay? However, what we need to establish right here, right now, make it very plain and clear, is this. Me sharing my life's experiences, being transparent and open, and sharing freely of myself is something that I do, right? Like, for real. It's something that I do on a personal level all day, every day. I build with people. However, on a more personal note, knowing I don't know who's going to have access to this recording is something that I ain't really never been down for. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, I don't like it. But my point in sharing this with y'all is for you to get an understanding that me finally doing this is out of me being obedient to what I know my purpose is from God, okay? It's not something that I would just volunteer to do myself because I love hearing myself talk, or I just feel like I got all the answers to life, or I know everything, because I don't, which leads to one of the reasons why excuse me, my podcast is called the Ultimate Faith Challenge, right? It's because when God started us out on this journey, and when I say us, I'm speaking of me and my family, from the beginning stages, we knew it was going to be a faith walk journey, and we also knew that we wanted to be able to share with the world. However, we didn't know how we was going to do it, and for the longest time, it was, oh, you got to do videos, you got to live stream, you got to do this. And I already told y'all how I feel about that. I'm not that type of person when I like being seen or I like being exposed physically online like that. So social media, and I mean, that's just not my thing. Not only that, but I feel like me gathering up an audience through a podcast, maybe, I don't know, I think this may be a better fit for me now. I don't feel like I should have to do what everybody else does for attention, to expose themselves or their information. You know, I'm trying to provide my life story in real live time, but it's just via audio. It's not something that people are going to be able to go look at least not right now. You know, I mean, I'm not going to say that we don't have pictures that we can include in like videos and stuff at a later time, but what I'm trying to do is improvise and be obedient to God by sharing my story openly, freely, daily with the world, like the things that me and my family are going through them while we're going through them. And I'll take, like I said, I'll take pictures to confirm and back up stuff that I'm saying, so that at a later time, if I want to incorporate them into like a presentation type video or whatever, I can do that. But I'm trying to be, what is it called, respectful of my husband's feelings and my children's feelings, and at the same time do what I know God has already called me to do and told me to do while I'm dealing with the things that we are enduring through right now. So that's that in a nutshell. Okay. I don't really have a target audience. It's called the Ultimate Faith Challenge because I noticed before we even started on this path, before we relocated from the state of Colorado to Texas, we knew we didn't have any family here. We knew God was going to be all we had when we got here, and we knew it was going to be a testimony of our faith, because we were walking by faith. Okay. So now, I should define what faith is, so you can know why this life is an ultimate faith challenge. Let's see. The Bible would describe faith as being the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, right? So when I say me and my family walk by faith, it's like literally, you know, we've been homeless 2 times at being married. And when I say homeless, I mean without our actual place to call our own. Okay, God has allowed us to have shelter, whether it be through a shelter, okay, or through the means of like extended stay places and hotels, which was like for the first whole year we was in Texas, we were in extended stay places for like 11 months, and then the last month we went to a shelter before we got into the apartment that we just moved out of. And we didn't just move out of that apartment, we were evicted out of that apartment for reasons that I will discuss. Let's see, what's my time? Just not in this just not in this recording, because I'm 6 minutes to almost being finished with this section or recording, whatever. Anyways, so my daughter asked me the other day, well, Mama, what are we waiting for? Because right now, when we were when we got evicted out of that apartment, we had nowhere to go, okay, but to an extended stay place. However, it didn't happen like that. We went to the church. The church paid 3 nights for us to stay in a hotel. We paid the last night. Then from that last night, the church called and got us in the shelter that was like 40 minutes away from the kids' school and everything that we're already accustomed to. So even though the church kind of hooked us up with the referral, we still winded up not being able to stay there. Okay, so now our daughter asked me the other day, she was like, well, Mama, what are we waiting for? I said, but what do you think? Who do you think we're waiting on? It's not about what we're waiting for. It's like we're waiting on God, just like with any other time, through any other trial, in error type of situation. We wait on God sometimes, and we just do our part to maintain through whatever it is God is sustaining us through, so that we can rest assured that however we are positioned, it's God who is the one that's doing the moving, okay? So we wait on God. So faith, having the ultimate faith, would just be executing your belief in God. Fully executing your total belief in God. That's what I can say faith is. Because you got people out here who talk it real easy and real quick. But I'll show you real easy and real quick that I don't talk this talk. I live this. I live what I talk. Literally. Okay? And I share what I'm supposed to share freely as God. It gives it to me and puts it in my heart and my spirit too, because I know that at the end of the day, it's not about me. I know there's people out here who need to be encouraged. Okay? It's people out here who don't know what faith is. They don't know how to execute it. They don't know how to identify with it. Or they constantly contradicting themselves by being not being, but by just allowing doubt to set in. And so then you go from one extreme to another, and you give stuff to God, you take it back. You know, you be all over the place. And I've been all over the place my whole life and didn't even know it was a result of me having ADD as an adult. Well, as a child, and it affected me as an adult, because when I went through it as a child, it was left untreated because my mom didn't like the way the medication was doing me, and then she didn't want me to be labeled, and whatever other reason she had. Just know that it affected me in certain areas in my life, like when it comes to being consistent, organizational skills, when it comes to being on time, when it comes to talking, like I digress a lot, I be all over the place. Even when it comes to writing, like I never understood. I always knew myself, I just didn't know why I was the way that I was, because like even when I write like pieces of the puzzle all over the place, and I can bring all them pieces that I wrote, being in various different places. It might be on the back of a magazine cover, on the inside of a book cover, on a notepad, whatever. I can collect all of those pieces and write from everything that I wrote to make it complete. And it's like, okay, so that's a gift, but that's kind of weird, right? And I never really knew that it was a disorder, you know, to where my mind, this is what ADD does. It's a disorder of my mind, a mental disorder, because due to a chemical imbalance. Now, what type of chemical imbalance, I'm not sure. You know, I could have been exposed to something. I know back in the day when I was growing up, it was said that, you know, the paint in the apartments, when you lived in the projects or in the hood or whatever, had paint had lead in it. And the kids was eating the chips, the paint chips from off the ball. And so that could have exposed them. I'm not sure how. It could be in the water. Look.